Hello everybody, my name is Cliff Hill and I'm coming to you today from beneath the Sound Arch here in Libby Park in Ojai, California. It's a pretty great venue for seeing music, and I thought it'd be a good place to talk about some of the things I want to talk about. So yeah, I'm in a wheelchair, and it's weird. It's weird living in a wheelchair, but it's kind of cool at the same time, especially when you have a chair as nice as mine, and I'm so fortunate to have it. But these are not really the things I want to talk about. The thing I want to talk about is why I'm in the chair. And the reason I'm in the chair is because of a disease known as inclusion body myositis. Oh my God, that's too many words, too many letters, too many syllables. So I'll continue to refer to this disease as IBM. IBM is very rare. IBM affects somewhere north or south of 9 people per million. Recent numbers that I've looked at on the internet say that there are 220,000 victims in America. And I don't know, it might be more than that. And that is because this disease is also very difficult to diagnose, and a great part of the medical community knows absolutely nothing about it. Guaranteed, you walk into 10 doctors' offices and ask them about IBM, and they will probably look at you like you're from outer space. Yeah, it's kind of a predicament. But what I'm trying to get at here is, not only is this disease vicious and some say insidious, pause. The difficulty with the disease is that it is very difficult to diagnose. My path from first symptoms to diagnosis was almost 3 years. It involved switching doctors, for starters, and then that doctor referring me to a rheumatologist, who then referred me to a neurologist. I've had all the nervous transmission tests done on me by him, and still there were no answers. That led to a surgical biopsy of my left quadricep just above the knee. That's very interesting because 3 or 4 years later, I find out that that is one of the primary symptoms of this disease. That and the loss of physical acumen between the elbow and the fingertip. Not immediate, but slow and steady. A loss of strength, loss of control. It's pretty scary. And that's really what my message is all about. I think that there are a lot more people out there with this disease, and other forms of muscular dystrophy than the medical community even wants to think about. I'll give a short example. Around the time that I was diagnosed with this disease, 8 years ago next month, I met another man, strangely enough, at the same facility where I was being treated, who also had this disease. Two nine out of a million guys in the same place. What the hell is going on there? When I first met, let's call him Howard. Howard was at the clinic and he told me about him and his disease and that he needed to move into skilled care at the facility. Time passes. 4 months past diagnosis. And my doctor says to me, oh, Howard got his room. Maybe you should go see him. I said, okay. So I went to see Howard, and Howard was, I guess, in what one would call end stages of IBM disease. Howard was lying there on a Hoya net with a Hoya lift about to pick him up. He could barely move his legs. Both hands were frozen in a lobster claw position. And I say, hey, Howard, I see you finally got your room, trying to be as cheerful as possible while I wanted to nearly puke at the same time. So they lifted Howard out of the bed and they put him in a wheelchair, and he had a very good caregiver with him. And I said, well, I hope you enjoy feeding him his lunch. And I went about my day. So there was Howard 8 years ago. Same position I was at that same time, right? 13 years past diagnosis and nothing. And here I am 8 years past diagnosis and nothing. No known cause for this disease. The doctors will not say if it's environmental. They will not give it a hereditary trait. They won't blame it on genetics. And our wonderful pharmaceutical industry, in combination with the medical professionals, have none, zero recommended pharmaceutical treatment for this disease of any kind. Sounds like a pretty tough pill to swallow, doesn't it? Again, I'm not looking for sympathy. I don't need it. I have friends all over this wonderful community who are so kind to me, and I'm fortunate for that. My whole message here is to hopefully help somebody else to not have as much suffering as I have. That's all for now.